Now let's review for Lesson 1 using the study guide for the Molasses Act of 1733 and the French and Indian War. Now, number 1, the Molasses Act of 1733 put a tax on blank and blank. What two items did the Molasses Act tax? If you said sugar and molasses, you are correct. Number 2, because of the Molasses Act, the cost of blank would go up if the colonists had to pay the extra tax. Because they were paying a tax on that sugar and molasses, what was going to have to be costing more money? Do you remember? If you said rum, you are correct. Number 3, the Molasses Act also said the New England shippers and businessmen could only trade with, do you remember who? Remember our triangle. They would start out in New England, so go to Africa, and from Africa they would go to the British West Indies, or we could say the British Islands. Number 4, during the French and Indian War, the Indians fought on the side of the, did they fight with the French or did they fight with the British? If you said the French, you are correct. The French fought against two groups of people, blank and the blank. The French fought against the Americans and the British. The French and Indian War showed the colonists they did not need the blank for protection. The colonists learned from that French and Indian War that they did not need the British to protect them. And number 8, blank won the French and Indian War. Who won the French and Indian War? If you said the British and Americans, you were correct. Let's go through and review one more time the study guide. Number 1, the Molasses Act of 1733 put a tax on sugar and molasses. Because of the Molasses Act, the cost of rum would go up if the colonists had to pay the extra tax. Number 3, the Molasses Act also said the New England shippers and businessmen could only trade with the British Islands. Number 4, during the French and Indian War, the Indians fought on the side of the French. Number 5, the French fought against the Americans and the British. And number 7, the French and Indian War showed the colonists that they did not need the British for protection. And number 8, the British and Americans won the French and Indian War.